Ukrainian Air Force fighter jets struck a building in the village of Kamyanske, Zaporizhzhia region, after it had been occupied and fortified by a Russian sabotage and reconnaissance group. This is a continuation of daily attacks by the Ukrainian Air Force on Russian positions. The Sky Riders Ukrainian drone crew struck a Russian logistics route with an FPV drone, hitting a mined railway bridge on the Eastern Front. Ukrainian forces continue to strike key Russian bridges used for troop and supply movement. These precision attacks are disrupting logistics, isolating forward units, and slowing Russian advances, especially near frontline hotspots like Kherson and Donbass. On June 18, 2025, a missile strike hit a shelter used by Russia's 346th Separate Special Purpose Brigade, Unit 31681, Prokladny, near Polohi in Zaporizhzhia Oblast. The impact caused the structure to collapse, and those inside reportedly suffocated due to a lack of oxygen. 11 servicemen were killed, including Chief of Staff Alexander Volkov, Mongoose, Alexander Kunsaitis, Amur, and Eduard Samyshin. Ukrainian air defense fighters shot down a Russian Gerber drone using a Ukrainian FPV interceptor Bagnet, reports Drone Bomber. Russia has developed and deployed several types of decoy drones to assist missile and drone strikes on Ukraine. This report discusses two of those decoy drones, the Gerbera, also known as Gerber, and the Parody, also known as Paradia. As reported, Russian forces are redeploying equipment through occupied Mariupol, preparing a new offensive on the Zaporizhzhia front, according to ex-Mariupol mayor's advisor Petro Andriushchenko. Along the Rostov-Novoazovsk, Mariupol, Pology, Berdyansk route, 7 platforms with tanks and over 40 trucks with troops and ammo were moved. Another column with over 20 trucks and at least 5 BMP-BMD carriers is heading via occupied Crimea and Kherson to Mariupol and Rostov. Andriushchenko notes intensified assault attempts near Gulyapole and Orikhiv are likely soon. Video shows Ukrainian fighters taking out 2 Russian Tu-S-1 Gvozdika howitzers and 8 camouflaged artillery guns in Kursk with FPV drones. Ukraine continues to systematically destroy Russian artillery systems, including both conventional tube artillery and rocket launchers like the BM-21 Grad, Tornado G, and Uragan. With advanced Western-supplied counter-battery radars and long-range precision munitions, Ukrainian forces are now able to detect, target, and neutralize Russian artillery units within minutes of firing. This has led to a sharp decline in Russia's frontline artillery presence, significantly reducing their ability to suppress Ukrainian infantry and fortifications. Despite the losses, Russia still maintains a massive Soviet-era stockpile of artillery systems and ammunition. However, many of these are in poor condition, and logistics problems, compounded by Ukrainian strikes on depots and rail infrastructure, make their deployment increasingly difficult. To compensate, Russia has revived production lines in state-run factories, but manufacturing struggles with sanctions, labor shortages, and a lack of microelectronics needed for modern guided systems. Ukraine is actively improving its fortifications to effectively counter the tactics of Russian assault groups. According to Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, 50% of the work planned for 2025 has already been completed. The Ukrainian Defense Forces are improving the construction of fortifications to more effectively counter the Russian tactic of small group assault operations. 50% of the work planned for 2025 has already been completed, said Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov during a meeting with journalists. As reported by UNN, fortification is not just concrete and trenches, but also an adaptive engineering system that takes into account the enemy's tactics and always serves one purpose: protecting our soldiers. We monitor the process daily and reinforce the areas where it is most needed, said Umerov. Umerov explained that previously, fortifications were built according to the principle of battalion defense areas and company strongholds with significant lengths of communication trenches, 2 to 5 kilometers. However, now the Russians have changed their tactics. They do not operate with classic battalions and companies, but mostly use small infantry formations with drone support during assault operations. To counter the new enemy tactic of offensive actions by Russian invaders, a new model was introduced: spatially smaller strongholds with communication trenches stretching 60 to 70 meters. At the same time, anti-drone shelters are actively used, which are harder to detect and effectively perform defense, deterrence, and inflicting fire damage. The fortification construction plan is being implemented as follows. In 2024, in areas where construction was carried out by military units, 96% to 99.9% of the assigned tasks were completed. As of mid-2025, over 50% of the work planned for this year has already been completed. The work is carried out by Defense Force units based on proposals from operational tactical groups and combined arms units that will subsequently defend the equipped fortification positions. In particular, in the Sumy direction, defensive lines are being strengthened in the most threatening areas. There, additional engineering equipment of defensive lines is being built up according to the needs of the command, Umarov reported. The minister also explained that, unlike traditional fortifications, modern fortifications are camouflaged according to the terrain. They are also specially reduced in size so as not to unmask positions and maintain effectiveness on the battlefield. Umarov also assured that he daily briefs commanders on the situation at the front, including the state of fortification equipment of defensive lines. Currently, all tasks set in this direction are being carried out on schedule. The Ukrainian Defense Forces have begun operating the Protector unmanned heavy ground vehicle, developed by Ukrainian Armor. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine announced the decision, stating the platform was designed based on combat experience to perform logistics and combat tasks in varied terrain and weather conditions. The Protector UGV can transport ammunition and equipment, evacuate wounded personnel, serve as a mobile platform for remote-controlled weapon systems, or be configured for electronic warfare operations. It has a payload capacity of up to 700 kilograms and a range of up to 400 kilometers. Powered by an internal combustion engine, the all-wheel drive vehicle is designed for cross-country mobility, including fording obstacles. Run-flat tires allow it to continue operating even when damaged. Vladislav Belbas, CEO of Ukrainian Armored Vehicles LLC, said Protector could also carry smaller ground-based drones weighing between 50 and 150 kilograms. These drones operate close to the front line, within a range of 2 to 3 kilometers. Transporting them discreetly is a challenge, but our logistics vehicle can deliver 3 to 4 of these robots at once. It preserves their charge and increases their operational effectiveness, Belbas said. He added that development of the vehicle had begun in mid-2023 in collaboration with one of Ukraine's frontline brigades operating in the Donetsk region. We received a technical assignment from a top brigade that was among the first to use ground robots for mining and strike missions. Cooperation with their operators and the brigade commander's vision allowed us to develop Ukraine's first heavy unmanned logistics vehicle, Belbas said. According to the manufacturer, Protector can also serve as an armed ground robot by mounting weapon systems for use against enemy personnel or armored vehicles. The company highlights the platform's low production cost and rapid manufacturing potential, though pricing details have not been disclosed. The Protector UGV was first presented at the MSPO Defense Industry Exhibition in Poland in September 2024. The vehicle was also featured in a report by Militarny on developments in unmanned ground systems.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.